With the W13 still struggling to unlock its potential in the first half of 2022, Mercedes has had a difficult start to the season. Over the last few race weekends, the Brackley-based team has been bringing upgrades to close the gap between the Ferrari and Red Bull. That's what they've accomplished. It doesn't matter if the championship is out of reach, as the Silver Arrows strive to become race winners. They refuse to give up. The French and Belgian Grand Prix will both see more aero upgrades this year, according to Toto Wolff, which has also leaked that Mercedes is working on unlocking a lot of untapped engine performance. Mercedes brought a new front and rear wing, as well as a modified beam wing a few races ago. While Mercedes has talked about the lower downforce rear wing assembly in the pipeline for some time, some of the changes to the car were visible. There's no need to transform the car with these changes. It is expected that the lower downforce rear wing, which has been in design, development and in production for quite some time, will improve the overall performance of the car. However, I don't think it would do much to solve the porpoising problem, although the front wing change may affect the flow around the front tyres. Well, take a look at some of the modifications to the rear wing. There was a family of rear wing downforce and drag levels for every team before the aerodynamic rule changes for 2022. There would have been enough wings in this family to cover the season's needs from Monza to Monaco. Due to the new regulations, they were all thrown away and it had to be started over. The second version of Mercedes' rear wing has finally been introduced 5 races into the season. As compared to the previous version, this wing produces less drag and downforce. The rear flap cord length was trimmed by Mercedes for earlier races, since this reduces the height and overhang of the trailing edge. It is always the worst way to reduce drag. Thus, you get less leverage for the same level of downforce, and drag isn't reduced that much. Having the DRS open also reduces drag. This is because the rear flap cord length is shorter, so it contributes little to the overall rear wing drag. As a result of the new design, the leading edge of the rear wing is more straight. With the leading edge lifted, it blends better into the upper curvature of the rear wing end plates, as well as the upper curvature of the leading edge plate, The flap's vertical cross-section is reduced, which results in a straight trailing edge, providing maximum leverage whatever the load. The next upgrade will be to the beam wings. As well as the rear beam wing, Mercedes introduced a new rear flap. Despite the limited pictures we have so far, the flap appears to have much shorter chords, or at least shorter at the onboard ends. It will reduce drag if the cord is shorter across the board, but it won't reduce its effect on the diffuser if it is shorter at the outboard ends. It does not appear to be related to the lower upper rear wing downforce. I guess that these are two separate developments, as the lower you go with the upper wing, the more help you will need from the beam wing. In this configuration, beam wings would reduce high-speed porpoising at the cost of extremely efficient underfloor downforce. When the car is at a higher ride height, as this Mercedes concept is, Mercedes may be able to keep the downforce from the underfloor in a slow and medium speed corners. Underbody downforce through the speed range may be less affected by than simply raising the rear ride height. The solution is more of a band-aid than a long-term solution. As a next step, let's take a look at the front wing. Mercedes also has a new front wing package to achieve the balance required to match new rear wing. Rear flaps have a slightly different trailing edge trimline to reduce the amount of downforce they produce, but it does not negatively impact the flow downstream. There has also been a change made to the outer section where the two flaps at the back blend into the end plate. By reducing this angle, the flow displacement caused by the front tyre rotation onto the track surface, commonly called tyre squirt, should be more robust. By doing so, the front tyre's lower section will experience increased outwash. There is one distinct difference between the two. Mercedes main plane has been lifted on the outer ends, creating a twisted leading edge. Compared with the previous specification shown below, the outer part of the main plate was straight. The flow will be allowed to reach the rear corner of the flap to end plate intersection more easily, increasing outwash. Even though this isn't a major problem with these new regulations, the front ring should also be less sensitive during combined braking and turning when this part is closer to the ground. As a result of the high lateral forces, the steering will also be less sensitive in high-speed corners. It's all a step in the right direction, and these parts should be a decent development step if your car didn't suffer from porpoising problems. Porpoising needs to be eliminated, or at least reduced by Mercedes' priorities on the underfloor. If Mercedes goes through with its show and tell process this weekend, it might also reveal some developments in that area when we see the cars in more detail. This is our overall takeaway from the video. We think that this video provided some good insights into Mercedes modifications. If you like the video, please subscribe to our channel for more amazing content, and don't forget to check out our other amazing videos. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again in the future. Until next time.